What's up, y'all? In this episode of the podcast, we're talking to Rosezetta Upshaw. She's an award-winning attorney. We're talking everything from copyright, IP, trademark, and any and everything to protect your business. You do not want to miss this episode. Let's go. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the On the Pursuit podcast. Today's episode, I got an amazing person. On this podcast, we connect with 6, 7, 8-figure earners, and we help them tell you their stories so that you can skip obstacles and steps and expedite to your success.
Love it.
Right? We want you to grow. Right? So I wanted to bring somebody on that literally this is an issue that a high 90% of entrepreneurs run into, And I wanted to bring her on because, she's going to give you all the sauce around agreements, contracts, structuring, having those uncomfortable conversations with your partners that you avoiding.
Yeah.
Because you're like, I want to work with you, but I don't want to have the contract in place, Yeah. So Miss Rosezetta Upshaw, award-winning attorney.
That's
Rosezetta
me.
Upshaw. You got to make sure you say that. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. Very excited to be here. Yeah. And I love what you do. I love that you're sharing amazing information so that everybody can level up.
I appreciate you. I brought the manifestation cards. I should have brought the money deck, matter of fact, but we brought the manifestation
That sounds
deck.
like me. I need the money deck.
Clearly. So, before the little shuffle, you did a little cut. So I'm just I guess I'm just doing something extra on top.
Okay.
But I'm gonna have you just pull a card.
It's like a magic trick.
Yeah. See what you get.
All right. I like this one right here.
What does it say?
It says, grow your mindset, grow your income. Yes.
How you feel about that?
I love it. This is so true because first off, I think we're in a country, in a society where you're taught one way to make money.
Yeah.
And that is get a job. So you really have to expand your mindset to see that there's so many different other avenues. Yeah.
I think more so now than maybe even ever before because of technology, softwares, the internet. You just need your phone and a Wi-Fi connection. You can make it shake. You know
Big
what I mean?
facts.
So off camera, you told me that this is your 11th year.
Yes. I'm like, wait a minute, off camera. Let's tell them what I said.
So let's talk about that, right? Like what made you start down this path? And I know it seemed to go by really, really fast. So like what made you, want to do what you do?
Oh my gosh, 11 years. Wow. Kudos to me.
Yeah, for sure.
Let me have a Snoop Dogg moment and say thank you to me. All right? I appreciate me.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you too.
So I love strategy. I love helping people navigate complex situations. In college, I worked at some legal clinics. I volunteered at legal clinics to just get a feel for being a lawyer.
And what is a legal clinic?
So a legal clinic is a place that's set up so that people can get free legal help.
Okay, got you.
So it's typically at a church or at a university or at a community center, somewhere that's open to the public, and you have lawyers and law students and volunteers just help people, them research.
And this is available. I think I'm familiar with this even back in Boston. So these places are available like almost in every major city.
Yeah.
And you can go get some legal help essentially for free.
Yes.
Or at least get pointed in the right direction.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. So when I was a college student, I was at Berkeley, and Berkeley had 2 campus legal clinics that were run by the law students and by, some supervising attorneys. So one was specifically for landlord-tenant law because, that's a huge issue, especially here in California. There's a lot of regulation. And then the other one was just general. So I was like, I'm going to do both. I'm going to just see if I like this thing,
All right. Okay. I'm going to do both.
Right. And I did really well. I had no idea that they were keeping an eye on us, So at the end of the semester, I won awards for best client service and most attention to detail.
So let's keep it real. Did you do this because you know awards?
No, I had no idea.
You was going for the championships?
I had no idea there were awards.
You was a ringer,
I
clearly.
was just in there. I was enjoying it. That's what happened. I was having fun with it.
You found your thing.
So it turned out, unbeknownst to me, what the other volunteers were doing were cherry picking the topics and only doing the ones that were easier or that they were already familiar with, where I was just doing everything. You coming in with this problem, that problem, like I didn't care. Like I'm gonna research it, I'm gonna learn it, I'm gonna help you navigate. And so because of that, I was doing the most work. And I had the best feedback from the clients.
Gotcha.
And, a lot of it was also online via email. So people would email an issue and you would do the research and then respond with your research and kind of help them understand their options.
Yeah.
And so when they went back and saw the emails, they were like, oh, she's tackling all the issues. She's, courteous. People are loving it. So once I got that type of feedback and that type of experience, I was like, okay, this is going to work out. So I went ahead and went to law school. That's what brought me to Southern California. I went to USC. And the rest is history.
So typically you got to give an arm and a leg to get through law school.
Yeah, typically.
Mm-hmm. And then you buy it back after? Is that what happened? So how long is law school typically?
3 years.
And does an average person pass the bar the first time or does it take them 2 times? What's the average? How many attempts does the average person take? Pass the bar.
I am not average in anything, so I can't tell you what they're doing. Me, okay. I was first.
All right. But I've heard there's people that have taken it multiple times.
Yes, there are people who have taken it a dozen times.
A dozen,
there's people who have taken it half a dozen times. And there's nothing wrong with that. I am a good test taker.
Yeah.
So I had fun with the bar.
What is the ticket for that test? How much is that test, if you recall?
Just to take the test is somewhere around $500, I believe.
So taking the test is $500, and then to retake it is, how much is that? Like $250?
I never retake it. So
that's right. You wouldn't know. Okay.
But what happens is you typically buy the course, right? So you do Kaplan or Barber. You do one of these bar prep courses, and that's typically around $5,000.
Okay.
So I had a scholarship from the Black Lawyer Association, Langston Bar Association, Black Women Lawyers Association. So that's how I was able to fund that.
What's up, y'all? It's Brennan Boy, and one of the best things that has helped me go to the next level is powerful affirmations. I would say them every single day, literally when I open my eyes. So I put together these powerful affirmation cards to help you get to the next level, right? With powerful statements like, I live in abundance, or statements like, I'm not a prisoner of my limiting beliefs. Now, if you say these things to yourself every single day using the power of repetition, you're gonna believe the things that you wanna achieve. So look, grab your affirmation deck or your manifestation deck or your money manifestation deck. Let's grow your mindset and let's get you to the next level, right? Click that link below, grab your cards, let's go. Kaplan and other businesses that are very similar to them, I mean, these are professional, they put on tests, right? But like that's a business within itself. And I feel like, cause I think I did Kaplan when I got my real estate licenses. And I think they're kind of designed to trip you up a little bit. Yeah. They kind of want you to have to retest so that you can pay them again.
Listen, every time I talk to a student who is getting ready to take one of these bar prep courses, one of the things, at least here in Southern California, that we do so well is the Black lawyer community is very supportive and close-knit. So we have our own bar prep, like crash course weekend that really helps go above and beyond the Kaplans and the Barbries and just the regular packaged courses that people typically take.
That's really dope. Yeah.
That's really something that I credit as helping me, pass the first time, because the stuff they tell you to do, that's cool, but the Black Lawyer Associations, they tell you to do more. And so I was doing more than my counterparts, and that's definitely one of the reasons why I passed the first time.
So why do you think that most entrepreneurs either don't have contracts set up or just avoid it? Well, I mean, I want to just get kind of down to it. Why is this kind of like it's almost like a glaring issue?
Yeah.
Why is this something that is not like, okay, I'm gonna start a business, I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna get my contract in order from the jump?
You know what? I want to compare it to people getting married without a prenup. It's very similar. And I think it's a very happy-go-lucky, optimistic type of approach. Like, things are just going to work out. Things are going to fall into place. I don't want to think about potential problems and issues. And I think that's part of it. You don't want to sit there and think about, this could go wrong. I need protection against this. I need protection against that. because that kind of can slow down people's momentum. A lot of people are fueled by passion in a very positive way. So to sit there and think, okay, this person might steal from me, this person might cheat me, it kind of puts them in a different mindset.
Yeah.
And I think that's what people are primarily avoiding.
Can we play a little game real quick?
Yeah, of course.
We're going to call this game Scared Straight, because I want to scare y'all to get your contract in order. So what's the worst situation you ran across where someone didn't have paperwork in order, and then how did it turn out?
So many. I can sit here the whole time.
Right, give me your top. Give me like your top three. Give me the top three. That was just kind of crazy. Because paperwork wasn't in order.
Yeah. I can name probably about 25 situations that are identical, where people paid $30,000 or more for a product and didn't have a contract, didn't have anything, and they didn't get anything. And 12 months later, they still don't have anything. And so now it's a federal lawsuit, and we don't have a conclusion. There's no ending to the story. Unfortunately, a lot of people just end up taking that L. I paid somebody a large sum of money. I didn't have a receipt, didn't have a contract, didn't have any details in place, but I believe this person. I think because we're all online now, you know, social media, websites, you feel like the person is touchable.
Facts.
But when they're not answering your DMs, your emails, your calls, and they got your money, you sent a wire, so it's not easily reversible. And the comfort you felt knowing like, okay, this person's online, this person has a website, all of a sudden that's gone because that's not doing anything for you. And the only way to really enforce your situation is to go to court. And now that's a whole new reality because court is very expensive.
It is.
It's a very expensive.
And
time-consuming, stressful. Oh my gosh. It's coming up on a year since this lawsuit was filed, and we're still in the pre-hearing phase.
How much money has that racked up for the individual?
How much should it have, or how much have I been being nice about?
How much should it have?
Typically, it would be somewhere around $50K.
So $50K just from where we are.
Mm-hmm.
For not having contracts.
Yep.
And so far, it's been a year in.
Almost. It's been about 9 months in.
And there's no end in sight currently.
Nope.
Scared straight. All right, that's question one, y'all, okay? Question two. What is typically the most important contract or agreement that like a business owner needs? Like if they were just one they just need to have on their person, in their toolkit, in their Google Drive, what's like one very important one?
So it depends on how your business is set up. If it's just one person, it's different than if it's two people. Because if it's two people or multiple, that partnership agreement is the most important thing.
Yeah.
If it's just one person, I would say, especially if you're selling something high ticket, it would be your client or customer agreement.
Okay.
So all the details about what they're supposed to get, when they're supposed to get it, refund policy, all the details, how, you know, the arrangement ends, how it can be renewed, all those details in one document.
Okay. All right. Scared straight. Question two. That was actually a good one. Right. All right. Last one for this one. Right.
Okay. Is this a game?
This one is a game. Yeah, I just made it up for you. Last one for this little series we got. How much money would it cost them up front to just either hire someone like yourself that could just be with them? You have to worry about letting stuff, or if you just invested in just getting the documents yourself, so you can kind of go through them. How much would they be looking at spending? Like, what's the range? Obviously, you would be more than just having the documents, but what would they be looking at spending?
So my lowest retainer right now is $5K.
Okay.
So that's if you want to hire me to be on your team, basically audit your complete setup, your structure, and how you're operating your business, put documents in place to elevate what you're doing, protect your profits, and protect your intellectual property. I would say it would start around $5K. If you're doing it piecemeal, my law firm currently charges $2,500 per document. Sometimes we go down to $1,000, depending on if you need multiple and we're creating a package. A trademark starts at $1,500. So let's say you needed, 2 contracts and a trademark. That's why I typically start like around 5K.
Okay, got you. All right, I like that. That's pretty
Right.
good, right? So y'all kind of have a better idea what you need, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
But I don't want to scare anybody. If that is outside your budget, I'm sure you can find other attorneys.
Well, that's why I was saying, like, if they were just gonna get like just the documents, and they were purchasing just the documents, that way they didn't have to go search around for them on Google. How much do you think it would cost them to get like the package of like the documents they would need?
Let's say you needed 4 documents in your business. Maybe that's an NDA, partnership agreement, operating agreement, client agreement, things like that.
Yeah.
I charge $250 each for templates. So that would be $1,000 for like 4 agreements.
So $1,000 to save you $50,000.
Yes.
Yo, that's worth it. And if you got a partner, y'all can just split that.
Yeah.
Right. And if you're pre-selling products, you could just pre-sell that and just get your little 1,000 real quick and be set.
Yeah.
Right. So typically, I found I've been in a situation like that. I think I might have told you a story where, you be sitting right next to a billionaire right now.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? So
I will be. We will both be sitting next to a billionaire soon.
So guys, quick little side story, and then I'm gonna have Rosetta just give you more fire, right? So I had a business partner back in the day when I was in fashion. Fast forward, we developed a jogging sweat. That's just that sweatpants with the little cuff at the bottom so it insinuates your shoes. We put it out there in the marketplace. No, we had no patent, no nothing. No, we didn't trademark nothing. And every clothing company on the planet has that inside of their offering. So we should be getting like money for the rest of our lives, right? But we didn't know what we didn't know. Right. Very expensive lesson, right?
Yep.
And if we would have locked in with someone like yourself for that $1,000, it would have been worth it, right?
Yeah. And I appreciate you sharing that because unfortunately, that's very common, especially in the Black community. We are so creative. We come up with the best art, the best creations. Every social media platform is lit because of us.
Facts.
The stuff that the music, the memes, the jokes, the comedy, the fashion, the art, just the creativity, period. It's so powerful. It's so valuable. And yet we're very unlikely to actually take those steps to own it. Part of that is just ignorance and just not knowing. So what I encourage everybody to do, because I don't expect you to become an expert on the law and know the difference between trademarks and copyrights and patents. You don't really need to know. All you need to do is check in with an attorney.
Yeah.
Have an attorney, who you have a relationship with. Maybe you haven't paid them yet, but at least, you've talked to them, maybe had a consultation, maybe paid them for an hour of their time just to give you some game so that you have, some support in that area. So like, okay, wait, I'm creating something, or hey, wait, I'm doing a deal. There's some money on the line. Let me just go call this attorney real quick and just make sure I'm doing everything correctly.
Yeah.
And see, do I need to hire them? Do I need to pay for something to protect myself?
And worst case scenario, like you had mentioned earlier, if you need to go to like one of those places where you can get some of the legal assistance for free, you should at least be able to tap into that. If you're not ready to kind of like make that investment, there's still some legal help available.
Oh, for sure. And matter of fact, USC Law School has a small business legal clinic where there are professors and attorneys who are supervising students, all geared toward helping small businesses. I think there's a couple law schools here in Southern California that have one. So they're specifically legal clinics targeting small businesses.
So you guys should Google legal clinics in your city right now.
Yeah.
Like, I think
so there's no
that would be
excuse.
Smart, yeah.
Because it's the same thing. It's just ignorance. People don't know. Like, you can actually talk to an attorney for free.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm talking to an attorney for free right now. All right, so you have your business going.
Yes.
Typically, what are some of the things that people should make sure that they are aware of, right? So you said partnership agreements.
Yep.
Trademarks, copyrights.
NDAs. Client service agreement.
Client service agreements. Okay, what else is out there?
Copyright assignment. That's a common one. Especially really important when it comes to all this content. Everybody is hiring somebody to make a logo, somebody to take your picture, somebody to make you a theme song. All these things are intellectual property. And even though you've paid somebody to make it for you, If they don't actually sign a copyright assignment to transfer the rights to you, they technically still have the rights.
That's major. So right now, if you just bought a logo right now, if you just bought some templates,
Yeah.
if you bought some content, right? Video, photo, anything, and you paid the money and you got a receipt, technically you don't own that.
They still have the rights to the
rights
intellectual
to
property. Right. So it's almost like they've given you a license to use it.
That's heavy right there.
But you don't have any right to stop them from also using it.
That's crazy right now. Yo, I don't know if y'all can see me. Maybe I'll put some like animations above my head.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's talk about podcasting specifically, right? So, if somebody comes on your show,
Yeah.
you're on the show right now. You're recording, right?
Yeah.
We're about to put this everywhere. This is about to go crazy, right? So, technically, right, if there's no contract and you decide that you want to stop me from putting this out, but I know you wouldn't want to because you want the world to.
Yes, I want to support my friend here.
I appreciate you, right? But if you decided that you wouldn't necessarily be able to stop me because there's no paperwork, there's no agreement.
We could go head to head in court and it'd be up to a judge.
That's a good one, right? Because nowadays, like you said, content creators, right? Podcasters, digital media entrepreneurs. This is what I like to refer to you guys, digital media entrepreneurs. You have to be photographers and videographers as well too, because I mean, weddings is major. Because you could do a whole wedding, but like you could do whatever you want with that wedding footage if you don't get that contract. That's huge right now. So that's major because if you don't have these things in place, different type of situations, I can foresee some sticky situations.
Right.
Especially if you're like, let's say, a celebrity, a known figure, an influencer, or maybe you think of yourself as such. Public figure, somebody can just use your stuff if you don't have your right agreements and paperwork. That's crazy.
Right. And so you have protections on both sides. That's why you have a release. So typically, I work with a lot of...
So I need to get a release form. I should get a release form, huh?
I'll get you a release form.
All right, we have release forms.
So when people are doing, a commercial or any type of video or content that's going to be used for marketing purposes, like the purpose of this is to turn around and make money from it.
Yeah.
They always have a release. You always have to sign away your right to object, control, anything, and allow them to do anything they want with that content. Because if there's no paperwork, you could take them to court and ask a judge to decide.
What about as small as just regular content on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube? Same thing?
As far as,
like, let's say
we go live together?
Yeah, let's say we go live together, or we're going to collaborate on some content. Like, hey, I'm going to shoot with you, you're going to shoot with me, we're going to make some stuff, we're going to put it out. And it's really like, this is just going to go on, this is going on Instagram, this is going on TikTok. Should people still be putting some of these things in place?
Well, it depends on what you have
like
behind
the intent?
it. Yeah, so for me, what I tell my clients is, let's look at how much you're investing. Your time, definitely your money, your energy. Is this body of work something that you're passionate about, something that is really an important brick in what you're building?
Yeah.
Or is it something you're just doing like, oh, I'm just going to go live, It's late night, I want to hop on live, I want to talk, connect with my friends. I'm not really tripping. If one of my friends objected, oh, take that down, blah, blah, blah. Don't worry, take it down, not a big deal. Or is it like, no, this is a part of my series. I'm doing this. Is it something serious that you plan on selling or, really using to represent your brand? Then you want to be more serious about it.
And podcasters, how would you like to make 5 or 6 figures with your podcast? Did you know that most podcasters do not make any revenue? It's because they think they need brand deals, sponsorships, and a large audience to monetize your show. But what if I told you, you don't need none of that? There's a simple 4-step framework to position your show to be monetized. And I can give it again completely for free. All you need to do is head over to podcast2profits.live and I'll see you in this exclusive training. I'm gonna give you all the game. What are you waiting for? Head over to the training, let's go. That's actually pretty big. And I think that if there's content creators that are watching this right now, digital media entrepreneurs that are tuned in right now, I I think that is definitely something that they should be taking a serious look at moving forward. To have that document and really just, assessing what type of content you're going to be making.
Right.
What's the situation you're going to be in? And like you said, is this something I don't want to make sure it's protected and I make sure I'm in a good situation versus if we're just casually creating.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. There's so much thought that goes into it. And that's why I hope everybody is building their team. So you don't have to be a jack of all trades and know exactly how to do marketing, know exactly how to do legal, know exactly how to do all these things, but you should have people you can tap to give you some guidance in those areas. And so if you're creating something, if you're doing a series, whether it's on Instagram Live or, you bring a bunch of cameras to your friend's house and set it up with the lights, very professional. If you have questions about how should I be doing this, should I have them sign something? Make sure you have an attorney that you can call, text, DM, and get some game.
My mind's blown right now. I'm just thinking about all these things right now.
Good.
But yeah, so everyone should get access to at least documents.
Yeah.
Have those on deck.
Yeah.
Learn how to use them. Become more knowledgeable of which one you need in which type of situation. Tap in with a lawyer, attorney, right? Mm-hmm. Or at the very least, have a greater understanding of where you may be able to get some free legal help, and then you can at least start there.
Yep.
And then I know there's not anyone that's watching this right now that's gonna put themselves in a situation going forward.
Please.
Because you got the information. Like now you know what you need, where you need to go,
right?
Who you need to talk to.
Yes, everybody on here is an executor, right? So y'all are gonna execute. I'm so happy that you are going to take this information and run with it and thrive. That's the whole point. And can I be transparent with you?
I hope so.
I feel like I can.
I hope so, yeah, of course.
You and your audience. So for the first 9 years of my 11-year history as an attorney, I was a litigator. So I was in court dealing with all sorts of situations. Even when you win, I would see that it wasn't enjoyable for my clients most of the time. The amount of stress, the amount of time, the amount of money involved is just very intense and not something that is typically going to be enjoyed, right? So after 9 years, I decided I can't sit back and keep seeing people get in these situations where if they just would have had a little bit of game guidance, they could have avoided this court case maybe in its entirety, or at least things could have been a lot more streamlined and clear and straightforward. Because, we're a bit litigious as a society, as a country, so you can't stop people from suing each other. That's fine. But at least let's make it a little bit more, clear, like what's going on. When you have these situations where it's he said, she said. We have these situations where people sign something without really reading it or understanding it. Yeah. You have all sorts of messy situations. So I decided, okay, let me take a break from this, because even though I'm really good at it, I really think I can do a lot of good by sharing information on the front end so people don't have to end up in court. So that's what I've been doing for the past 2 years, primarily. Instead of being in court all the time, now I'm out front, I'm on Instagram Live, I'm on podcasts. I'm like, let me tell everybody some things that can help them hopefully avoid issues and costly court situations. And so what I want to share is that when I had this brilliant idea that, hey, I want to commit to being on the front end, I've reached out to a ton of attorneys. I am a past president of Black Women Lawyers Association of Los Angeles. I love being active in the lawyer community and, mentoring law students and just being very present in my profession. A lot of the attorneys I reached out to were not willing to participate. And so when I said, hey, let's show people how to do trademarks. We're in Los Angeles. This is one of the entertainment capitals of the world. There's so many people here who don't understand the basics of entertainment law and what should they sign, what should they not sign, what do these terms mean, what does perpetuity mean? A lot of attorneys said, no, I'm not going to show somebody how to read a contract or how to do a trademark. I charge people thousands of dollars for this. If I show them how to do it, they won't hire me. And I had a really hard time convincing a lot of attorneys that this could be fruitful. Not only good for the community, but you can still make money. There's still people who will pay you, but it can do a lot of good. Because in my mind, if someone who can't afford to pay me $1,500 for a trademark, if they buy my ebook for $100 and learn how to do it themselves, they can build their business up to a point where they can pay my fee, can afford me to do other things for them, right? I love my clients. My favorite clients are the ones who have 6 and 7-figure deals on the table. And they're like, hey, Rosetta, can you look over this contract for me? I'm like, yes, I can. I'm so excited for you. I'm so happy to, flip through those pages and make sure you're protected. Make sure you understand what you're getting into and help close this deal, right? Sometimes we got to renegotiate some things, but a lot of times my clients have done a really good job. They've put themselves in a good position. And I'm like, yeah, get this money. Like, go ahead and sign that. So that's my favorite client. So when I think about people who aren't there yet, who are just starting, maybe they don't have a huge budget to spend on legal support, I'm still really called to support them, give them game, even if it's for free or, from one of my digital products. Because I know one day they're going to get to that level where they're like, Rosetta, Nike wants me, Jay-Z wants me, whoever. And it's a huge deal and I can help them with that. And let me tell you, these clients are happy to pay me.
Yeah, of course.
Most of the time, if you have $1 million deal on the table and you're just trying to make sure you're understanding the deal correctly and make sure the deal is in your favor, you're not worried. I mean, I'm not going to charge you like a crazy amount, like $20,000 or anything. I'm going to charge you a reasonable fee. I'm not greedy because I know you got another one coming.
Yeah, facts.
Right? And I know the next project is going to be bigger and bigger.
So what made you have that foresight? Because, like sometimes even when you tell somebody an entire play, they're not going to run it. They may just need to see it, may get more KLT, no like trust, and then they may still hire you anyway. Or in some cases, you might just be planting the seed, so they can have that sprout. They got something coming on the back end. They're gonna run and rock with you for something bigger anywhere down the line. So what was it about that like you noticed that, hey, this is an opening here, this is an opportunity? What made that kind of like be like a light bulb situation for you and some of these other attorneys just didn't see it like that?
For me, a big part of it was just being in court for 9 years and just seeing that volume. Like there's plenty of work to be done. And I understand, I have an abundance mindset. I have a generous mindset. Mm-hmm. So
what the card say?
Grow your mindset, grow your income. Exactly. I pulled exactly the right card. So it was just crystal clear for me. I don't know if it was one thing in particular. I think, I was raised with an abundance mindset and I've been in the world enough. I've traveled, I've seen, there's plenty for everybody. Right? So I was just never scared, never worried that I wasn't going to eat. It's enough for me. I know that much. So I love helping people. I have a huge heart and I give away a lot of free advice that other people wouldn't. I have attorney mentors, like you need to charge for this. I just now, like a week ago, started charging for consultations. And I still do free consultations sometimes.
Yeah, but and you can get some free game late night too if you pull up to one of our late night sessions.
On my lives.
Yeah, late night lives.
Yeah, I do my lives. We have discussions about, real events that people are going through. Disclaimer, this is not legal advice. This is just legal information. I'm not your attorney. I'm not representing you. Please don't use this to substitute the advice of your own legal counsel. Just want to put that disclaimer out there. Yep. So yeah, I think it started off as me just wanting to help. Me wanting to help keep people out of court. Because I know if you're spending this much on litigation, imagine what you could be doing if you spent this much in your business, spent this much building your business instead of trying to stop it from being dismantled with this litigation.
Yeah.
Right? So, yeah, it was always plenty there. And that was the point. Like, if you didn't have to spend $50K on this court case, you could spend 10 hiring me in your business.
Yeah.
Right? So that's how I saw it.
So, like, with your experience in court, what is something that, like, you would change if you could change, like, the way things flow or the process? Like, what are you seeing in it that's kind of cumbersome that may keep, a case longer than it should be? Like, what if you can modernize the situation? What are like a couple things you would do?
I will say that being able to have court virtually has really helped with the backlog and just the super impacted schedule that the court typically has. So almost every court I've ever been in has a ton of cases to handle every day, every week, every month, constantly behind, constantly having to move things around, going to court. Like, it's heartbreaking to see somebody take off work, spend money on transportation, spend money on parking, sit in the waiting room all day, go have lunch in the court cafeteria that is not where you would choose to eat lunch if you could choose, right? But a lot of people are going there because they can't afford to go drive and then come back and pay another $10, $15, $20, $30 for parking, right? Sit there all day. So about 8 a.m. to, let's say, 4 p.m. And the court says, oh, sorry, we ran out of time. You're going to have to come back to have your day in court. Devastating.
Yeah, facts.
So the first thing that I think really helps is that when people can have court virtually, especially because there are a lot of little administrative hearings, procedural hearings that are not the substance of the case, not the Law and Order type situation that you see on TV. So all those little things, we can do that on Zoom. Like, let's have, a virtual environment so people don't have to take off work, don't have to drive, spend money, and, commit all this extra time that's not productive. Just be able to just do the hearing while they're at home or at work and not have to come all the way in court, especially if you're not testifying or doing something substantive. So I think that makes a huge difference because, again, the money, the time, the energy is just such an intense investment when it comes to litigation.
So you would have them do more virtual situations? More
virtual.
Is that, I mean, I know that was kind of like common practice during COVID, but that's still something they're keeping up with?
Yes,
so this is hybrid now?
Yep, it's very much a hybrid system now, and I'm really happy to see it, and I think we need more.
Yeah, I think so too. Like my grandmother, I remember she was a clerk magistrate, so she used to do like little small things, but it was like, it was quick.
Yeah.
You go there, she would sit down, you wouldn't have to see a judge. She would just, iron it out for you right there. I can see how that would be helpful because you're right. Like if you, and sometimes that happens multiple times. Like you go and you did that 2-3 times and you still don't have your day in court or whatever the case may be.
Yep.
Yeah. Get your contracts in order.
Yes, that's the whole point. I'm like, let me just help people not come here at all.
Get your contracts in order.
Please, whatever it takes.
Man, so now moving forward, right? Like 2023, are there anything that businesses should be aware of? Any changes, when it comes to some of the paperwork, any changes? Because now like businesses are just digital now. You know what I mean? Now I can have a business partner in Egypt. I can be here.
Right.
Now my whole business can be online. Now I'm using apps. Now I'm using VAs, So the landscape of business is a little bit different. So are there any new instances or new agreements, papers, contracts, terminology? Is there anything people now need to be aware of? Even with like crypto now, even things like that. Like, what are some new things people just need to be aware of?
Well, people need to be aware that the law is still evolving in a lot of these areas. So social media, crypto, international business, virtual business. It's all global now. So making sure that you understand, I always remind people that even, 10 years ago, when you started a business in your hometown or in your city, somebody in Germany probably wasn't really aware of it. But now that we're so interconnected online, on social media, you are a global business as soon as you make a website.
So as soon as you make a website, people should look at their businesses as global.
Look at your business as global. Understand that you may not realize that for whatever reason, what you're doing is popping in Sweden.
So we got a global website. We got global products and services.
Yes.
We got global podcasts.
Big time over here. And so because of that, use technology to your advantage. There are so many different analytics, so many ways you can look on the back end and see who's visiting your website, where are they coming from? Where is this traffic coming from? Where is this eyes and attention coming from? So if you have a business and for whatever reason, Australia loves it, and you like half your traffic is just Australia, you want to tap in with an attorney who can reach out to a law firm in Australia and make sure you own your intellectual property there.
Yeah.
Make sure you have whatever you need in place to capitalize on that situation and make sure nobody else is doing it because it's yours. You should own it. You created it. So again, for me, I don't want people to feel like, oh, I have to know the law. Just know that you need to be connected to an attorney who can be strategic with you and let you know what to look out for because things are changing so much right now. So crypto, things are always changing. Taxes and financial things are always changing, especially right now with the e-commerce space and all this.
Even YouTube going crazy right now.
All of these digital platforms, Cash App, Venmo, Zelle, it's new. So the law is still evolving when it comes to how these transactions are dealt with, who has access to what, the privacy, the reporting requirements, things like that. So being able to tap in with an attorney who can give you these updates. So you don't have to be, keeping up with all the news, researching the law yourself, but just know that things are evolving. When it comes to intellectual property ownership, again, if you get a federal trademark or federal copyright, that's here in the United States. So if you're popping in Australia, you're popping in Germany, China, Ghana, anywhere else, you need to reach out to an intellectual property attorney there and get those things locked down. Because if you really want to have control and ownership over what you create, your global business needs to be aware that it's global.
I mean, that was well said right there.
Thank you.
Yeah. What's up, y'all? So I want to take a second to speak to my creators. So whether you currently got a podcast or think about launching a podcast, maybe you got a YouTube channel and you think about launching a YouTube channel. Here are the facts. Did you know that 9 out of 10 creators actually quit because they don't have anyone to hold them accountable? That's why all you need to do, right? Click that link below, join my Action Takers community, because not only are we gonna hold you accountable, we're gonna teach you how to execute at a higher level. Plus, give you access to principles and strategies to grow your mindset and generate more revenue. So what are you waiting for? Click that link below and join one of the fastest growing content and accountability communities, all right? I'll see you on the inside. I think one of the key things, right, is, I mentioned IP.
Yeah.
And the fact that people are global now. It's like as soon as you open up a business, right? So people hear IP, intellectual property. What are some of the key components of IP? So if you're starting a business from scratch right now, what are some of the IPs that they need to be aware of so they can lock down immediately and have?
So primarily, one of the first considerations is your brand. So whatever you're using as your brand, if that's the name of your business, a tagline, a logo, a symbol. I like to use Nike as an example because that's something that a lot of people are familiar with. So the Nike, the swoosh, and the just do it, those are all trademarks separately and in combination. So if Nike were to launch and not own those, it would be very problematic because as soon as, Michael Jordan put it on, as soon as they got that right endorsement, that right athlete, and it popped off, if they didn't own it, then anybody could, number one, go lock it down and basically steal it from them. Or siphon off their profits, put Nike on a sweater that has nothing to do with the real company, and start siphoning off those profits. So making sure that if you're really going to push this brand, if this is what you're putting your heart and soul and, money and time into, you need to own it. If this is just casual, this is something I'm doing for fun, just, a project I just want to see, maybe if it goes viral, I'll take it seriously. If you're not that committed to it, or if you want to play the wait and see game, that's on you. But if you're committed to what you're building, owning it should be one of the early considerations.
So we're talking about getting a trademark,
logo. So that's trademarking your brand. whether that's the name of your business, the logo that you're using, the slogan that you're using, making sure that you own it so nobody else could take it. Because
what about the domain?
the website?
The website?
For sure. But let me be clear. If you go grab Nike.com, you do not have any rights to Nike, the trademark, right? So if for whatever reason Nike forgot to get the website, that doesn't mean you can now print shirts and sell it.
Gotcha.
So the website is good for marketing purposes, but the website or the LLC does not equate to actual intellectual property ownership.
Gotcha.
So yes, go get the website, go get the Instagram, go get the YouTube, get all that stuff so you can have it nice and neat, but that doesn't mean you own that brand.
So we're just talking about the logo, trademarks, copyrights.
So that's the trademark for the brand, right? That would be the first consideration. If you have a business that includes different designs, so whether that's t-shirt designs, whether that's, content like art, poems, scripts, books, you can copyright all that content. So you own it and you're the only person who has the right to sell it. If somebody else wants to sell it, they have to license it from you.
So artists need to copyright that stuff.
Yep.
100%. Especially if it's like even NFT art.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Okay. I think I learned something too. I'm learning something. I hope you guys are. All right. So let's say you got a school. Let's say we got the Upshaw Academy.
Ooh, okay.
What are 3 things that the students need to learn before they can graduate?
From the Upshaw Legal Business Law Academy that we're secretly building that we didn't tell you about.
100%.
So again, first off, position yourself in proximity to an attorney.
Okay.
You don't have to be an expert in the law. You don't have to know exactly the definitions and how everything works, but you need to know that you need to check in with an attorney on a regular basis just to oversee and audit your systems and your operations to make sure you're protected.
Yeah.
So whether that means you're selling something, you don't have a refund policy. Maybe that means you, I don't know what that is. Maybe that means you are having content made for you, either, music or photography, and not having a copyright assignment. An attorney can point that out and help you make sure that you're covered and that you're owning your intellectual property. So that's number 1. Just get in proximity to an attorney. Have someone who who to call. I'm that person for a lot of people. I get all sorts of calls that have nothing to do with my work, but they're like, Rosette, I got in a car accident. I need an attorney. Sure, I will take the time to find you somebody because I don't do that type of law. Yeah. Again, I'm well connected. But I love that people reach out to me in that way. I love that I feel like I'm helping this movement of people who feel comfortable reaching out to an attorney on a regular basis for whatever they need, whatever type of life situation that happened. So that would be number 1. Get in proximity. Know the number to call. Just like back in the day, if you had a babysitter, like these are the numbers to call if something goes down. An attorney's number should be in your Rolodex. And again, we're all on the phones now, so it's very simple. Connect with an attorney and keep them close by so you'll get your calls answered, right? Because what happens is good attorneys are busy. I can't answer everybody's call.
That's true.
But if we've already connected, I'm going to make time for you. Even if I don't really have the time, I'm going to answer your call. I'm going to get back to you. But strangers who call me?
Crickets.
I'm sorry, I don't always get back to people I don't know because I just don't have the time.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of attorneys in that situation. And I hear people like, I've been trying to find an attorney for months. All the good ones are busy. Like, there are not really enough attorneys, especially not enough Black attorneys. So if you're specifically looking for a Black attorney, and specifically a really good Black attorney, it can be difficult. That's why you want to have one before you need one.
That's true.
You don't want to be in an emergency situation like, oh my gosh, I got to respond to this lawsuit, or I got to figure this out. This person's copied me, and I got to go, figure out how to send them a cease and desist letter or engage with them. And you want an attorney to do it for you. You want to have that person already answering your calls. Like, hey, what's up? Oh, what happened? Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm going to make some time for you. That's number 1. Number 2, please, documentation, contracts, have everything in writing. I love the people who reach out to me in advance. This is what I'm building. This is what, I'm about to do. Make sure the legal component is tight. Mm-hmm. So reach out to an attorney in the formation stage, even in the brainstorming process. I talk to people who don't even have a business yet. They're still trying to figure out, how should I structure it? How should I put this partnership in place?
Yeah, that's a good one.
I
that one a lot.
when people contact attorneys beforehand. So that would be number 2, is to be thinking about that as part of the process. Not just, I'm going to brainstorm some catchy names and I'm going to figure out the colors and I'm going to figure out this, and this. Also figure out an attorney to call.
Yeah,
figure
facts.
out the attorney's perspective. Be putting that consultation and that conversation into the process early on. I would say that would be number 2, because the attorney is going to be able to lay some of those things out for you. Okay, this sounds like this is a corporation, not an LLC. You may want to form this corporation in this state for this reasons, because this business activity would be better protected in Nevada versus Arizona.
See, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Right? And so having an attorney that can walk you through some of that. So you might file a specific business in Jersey, and it's just like, oh, Jersey is crazy for that.
Yeah.
This law is not going to protect you and protect your interests. You should have filed this in pretty much any other state. You might not have even known that states are so different when it comes to different topics.
You wouldn't know that at all unless you had a good attorney.
Right?
Yeah.
And so people think Delaware, and they think, oh, Delaware is just going to
cheapest.
Save me from everything.
Shout out to Delaware with my LLC, right?
But there are so many strategic reasons to be in specific states.
Yeah.
So there's a handful of states that are strategic for specific reasons. But if you don't know what those reasons are and you're just willy-nilly, let me just do what I saw on the gram or do what my friends are doing, or, just take a shot in the dark, you're not going to be as strategic and, productive as you could be.
And then what's the third one?
I got to do 3? This is another game? All right. So first one, proximity. Yeah. 2, early. Make sure you're
formation.
You're getting an attorney involved in the formation stage, not just the I got a problem now stage, and not just the, I'm already up and running and now, I have a break from all the work I've been doing. Let me contact an attorney. Yeah. But super early. The third, I would say, would be scaling and getting your team in place.
Okay.
Because what happens is, and as an entrepreneur, I know this all so well, in the blink of an eye, you have more than you can manage on your own. You need someone else on your team. And a lot of times people start off as solopreneurs. It's just them.
Yeah.
And then they're like, okay, I need at least a VA. Maybe I need somebody close by. Maybe I need a partner, right? So now they're looking to build a team with other people. That documentation is crucial. Making sure that those contracts are right, because that's a necessary step in your business going to the next level. There's only so much you can do by yourself. So if you bring somebody else on and you're relying on them and you don't have anything in writing, you're really putting yourself in a very high-risk situation. Whether they're just a secretary or whether they're a full-on partner, that documentation needs to be handled properly, right? Professionally. And I tell people all the time, if you don't have the budget and you just Google a free template, I'd rather you do that than do nothing.
Yeah.
Right? So
I've heard you say that a few times.
Please, you don't have to pay me. Just do as much as you can afford to do, right? And again, just understand that, okay, right now, I might not be able to afford an attorney, but this is the price range, maybe $500 to $2,500. So once I have that budget, I want to be able to reach out and have an attorney at least review, right? And so that's what I tell people. So my office charges $2,500 to draft like a custom partnership agreement. If you don't have $2,500 and you go out and find a free template on Google and then, customize it to the best of your ability, and then you want to hire me to look over it for an hour, my hourly rate at this current moment is $550. So I can spend an hour talking to you and getting through as much as we can and telling you like, oh, this doesn't quite apply to your business. That may want to be shifted. You might want to add this, take this out, things like that, that can get you closer to an ideal agreement and customized agreement for you without having to spend the whole, $2,500, the current rate,
Yeah. Yesterday's price, not today's price. You guys better click that link fast.
So yeah, those are my 3 things. So number 1, were you paying attention? What was number 1?
Number 1 was, I remember documentation and formation. Documentation and formation.
Number 1, connect with an attorney.
Connect with an attorney.
Get your
That's right.
call
Documentation
answered.
and formation. Connect with an attorney, because when you need one,
Right.
you need someone that's gonna pick up your phone call.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly. So number 1, go meet an attorney. Because it's so important to connect with your attorney. You want somebody that you vibe with, because you need to be completely honest with them. You need to tell them everything. So find an attorney that you vibe with, that you would want to hang out with after hours, if that's your vibe. Because I've heard some people say, I want the most boring, nerdy attorney, because that's what would make me feel most protected and give me the most confidence in them. Whatever your attorney tastes are, go find that for you, so you'll be ready whenever anything comes up. That's number 1. Number 2, already be in the mindset that I need an attorney to participate in what I'm building. That's number 2. And number 3 is, when I'm expanding and growing my team with other people, make sure you have an attorney to make sure those contracts are right. So either pay them the full price to draft it for you and customize it, or go get a template. And if you have the budget, pay them to review what you did on your own.
Is there a book or anything that you'll recommend? Just one, right? It could be a book for business owners to just grab that they need in a starter kit. It could be on mindset. It could be on anything. Is there at least one book that you would recommend for the people to get?
Yes.
What's that?
I am an overachiever, so I'm going to give you 2 books.
All right, we like 2. We like 2.
So one of my favorite books is The Alchemist.
Yeah, I like that book too.
I love that book because it's so easy to read. It's such a page turner. I love a good fable. It's a story. It is compelling and engaging. And I think it really encapsulates the journey of entrepreneurship. It's not a straight line. You're going to go left, you're going to go right, you're going to go up, you're going to go down, you're going to go all over the place, and you're going to get to exactly where you're destined to be.
Facts.
Right? And it's legendary. Your personal legend is so important, and it's unique to you. And that's why I love The Alchemist. I think it really helps people get in the right mindset. Because what did my card say? Grow your mindset.
Grow your income.
Grow your income. So it's a really good mindset book, I think, in a very gentle and, heartwarming way to really get you in the mindset of understanding that you're on a journey. Don't compare yourself to other people like, oh, they've had everything go right and I'm over here with ups and downs. Life is dynamic.
Facts.
And that's what makes it beautiful. And you are going to end up exactly where you're supposed to be and even greater than you ever imagined. So that's how I feel about The Alchemist. And the second book is a shameless plug. Go to legendsatlaw.com and
That's what I'm talking about, people. That's what I'm talking about.
Get my trademark ebook, 5 Steps to Fast Track Your Trademark. And the reason why I think this is a must-have for entrepreneurs is because every great business has trademarks. Most of my clients, most of the businesses that I interact with, they need multiple trademarks.
Yeah.
They need 2, 3, 4 trademarks. So in my office, 4 trademarks is $6,000. So by getting my ebook, you could potentially be saving yourself $6,000 when you understand.
And you'll be learning too.
And you'll be learning. You'll be able to help other people. It is just priceless, right? And again, it's one of those things where when I asked other attorneys to help me do this, they said no. They said, I'm not going to give away the secret sauce.
I'm giving away the game.
I'm not giving away the game. I want to charge people for the game. And that's not how I feel.
Yeah.
I feel like I would rather see people do their own trademarks, build these amazing, successful businesses, and then come call me when you got that $1 million contract.
Yeah, that's how it work anyway. Right now, you got to get a game to get the game.
That's what. So those are my 2 books.
Yeah. Listen, listen. You gave heavy game on this. The episode's all sauced up. People are saving money, positioning themselves. They got their partnership agreements together, right? They know that they need to get their trademarks, their copyrights. They know that if they're going to be making content or if they're going to be dealing with different vendors. There's some agreements they need to get in place. You really set somebody up to start their business the correct way right now,
Thank you.
or make a couple of adjustments if we don't have those things in order for whatever reason, right? I want to thank you for your time. I mean, this has been amazing. Anything, I mean, where can they find you? Where can they tap in? Like, you gotta leave that information.
Of course, happy to. So Legends at Law everywhere and Rosezetta Upshaw everywhere. Rosezetta. I've decided if you can't spell my name, you can't have me. So you got to be able to spell my name correctly. Rose and then Zetta Upshaw. And I'm pretty easy to find.
Yeah, and she's on Instagram late night talks with Rosezetta. You can go there and get some. You can get some questions answered.
Yeah.
You can get some questions answered. So thank you so much for being on the pod. I'm pretty sure you'll be back again. And yeah, I'm very appreciative. And it's been another episode of the On Pursuit podcast where we bring 6, 7, 8-figure earners on to help you guys avoid obstacles and learn things so you can expedite your business. We'll see you guys on that episode.